Welcome, Robbie, to the MA. Thanks for joining us on such short notice. So what was it about GameStop that made them the partner of choice?
GameStop and Immutable are literally building the perfect platform for onboarding gaming customers and their NFTs. So Immutable is essentially a backend for NFT projects and marketplaces. And our vision for what the future of trading is actually going to look like is quite unique to our product strategy. So something you may not know about Immutable is we're not just a scaling solution, but we are also the global order book by which marketplaces and games are powered. For instance, you could list an asset on GameStop's marketplace, and because our order book is shared, you could then buy that item inside a game, like Gods Unchained or Fortnite if they ended up supporting IMX, inside that game's context. The corollary is you could be in Fortnite, earn a skin, which is a John Wick skin, and sell it directly in the game's context, removing any friction for the end user, and directly purchase it off any IMX-supported marketplace like GameStop. So the goal really is fundamentally, how do we let players trade from anywhere in a frictionless experience and use major partnerships like GameStop to kind of funnel a huge amount of distribution to these partners. This is a unique product in the space. We have the best platform for NFT games, and we're going to make the assets from those games available to everyone on the GameStop NFT marketplace. GameStop is such a massive player and powerful entrant into the Web3 space from Web2. And the reasons behind that is a few. The first is they have a huge piece of cultural heritage in gaming and 50 million customers associated with that. The second thing is you guys, the massive evangelistic fan base that is one of the most powerful in the world right now, that are all, moving to whatever GameStop does its next product, which I think makes GameStop's position as entering the Web3 space, which is fundamentally about aligning consumer incentives and coordinating things in a much better way than traditionally exploitative like company consumer relationships. What it should really be is players experience the value of being able to trade and own their assets. Players experience the value of having real guarantees over their economy. Look, GameStop wants gaming content, and that is what Immutable X as a company is currently really focused on in NFTs, is long-term, high-utility games who want to actually give players true ownership. So the fundamental thing we built is an NFT platform that allows businesses to very, very simply create NFT businesses. They can use APIs that are simple. They're like Stripe to use. They're completely carbon neutral. They are gas-free, so end users pay $0 for creating or trading an NFT. And that's really crucial for games, right? Because if you're World of Warcraft and you're creating 100 million NFTs a day, you actually have to have zero cost associated with the creation of that NFT. And as far as I'm aware, we are the only platform that offers that to developers right now, because we pay for those costs and we roll them up into zero knowledge proofs, which make them incredibly efficient for us to create, essentially. We can make it really, really simple for mainstream developers to do what they do best, which is build high quality games while we take care of creating a frictionless experience for people to own and trade the items inside of those games, inside that game and inside the marketplace of GameStop as well. The goals and further milestones we set collaboratively with GameStop are plain as day in the 8K, and we hope to blow through that $3 billion of GMV in marketplace volume in 2 years and then go way past that. So the ambitions are very, very high. We would not do a partnership unless we thought it would actually redefine NFT gaming of this magnitude.
So touching on the kind of elephant in the room, another layer 2 company, what's happening with other companies like Loopring?
Yeah, look, we definitely can't comment on Loopring directly. What we can say is that many marketplace front ends end up supporting a variety of blockchain and L2s, for instance, like ETH L1 as Ethereum. Ultimately, though, what matters is where the NFTs are actually minted and traded. And this is what Immutable specializes in. The goal of Immutable is we really see NFTs as being the thing that allows you to own unique stuff. And there's actually way more dollars worth of unique stuff in the world than there is non-unique stuff, pretty much currencies and shares. And even shares in many capacities are unique. You have different classes of stocks or liquidity preferences associated with each share, or even lockups. And each of those requires a unique trade instrument to trade them. And so the way I kind of think about the NFT industry right now is it's like JPEGs if the only reason people use the file format was to do memes. When in fact you have the entire world of photography in front of you and every piece of information that can be contained inside of it. In the same way, gaming is by far the vertical we are most excited about. Like gamers spend $100 billion on in-game items every year that they don't own and that they can't sell, and they get a very, very raw deal from publishers. I think that's crappy and we should change that. But also there are other verticals where this would bring massive benefit to people. There are things like financial verticals where we can tokenize houses or insurance contracts or financial options. There are things like physical goods like sneakers or literally wine. There's a $5 billion secondary market every year for wine. I mean, hell, the estimated secondary market cap of Magic the Gathering cards is $20 billion. So people want to trade stuff. And ultimately, NFTs are horrendously mispriced right now as a collectibles asset class. They're going to be how we trade literally everything. And the goal of Immutable is to be the liquidity platform, the back end for any product or marketplace or game or trading application that wants to use NFTs, and to bridge liquidity between each of these, to share orders between each of these on our global order book, which means if you want to sell something from Fortnite, you can buy it in GameStop. You can list an asset for sale in GameStop and have it be bought inside a game by a player looking to play their next match. So 5 years from now, I'd look us, we want to be on that mission. We want to be powering multiple verticals, and we want to be helping to empower consumers on this road to making everything tradable for the best possible price. I mean, that's kind of the fundamental core concept we're trying to do, is bring property rights from the real world into the digital one. So NFTs I break down into two categories. You have digital assets where the value of the item is literally digital. That could be a video game item. It could be a blockchain native insurance contract. There are companies building smart contracts that automatically pay you out if wind speeds in a certain area pick up above a certain amount and kind of like pay you, hurricane rewards. Then I think we're also going to see the tokenization of real world stuff. And this is broadly broken down into, to get a bit technical, centralized registry products. You're looking at centralized IP as well, and also centralized finance. So things like, options contracts. I mean, term deposits. They're literally the largest outstanding liability class in the world today. There's trillions of dollars worth of them, and you should be able to trade them. And being able to trade them would be much better to consumers, because suddenly you've created an efficient global market for interest. And so it's going to take over everything. Like tokenization is eating the world. It will be slow in some areas. Like real estate's not going to happen for a decade, because you've got to work with 4,000 different global jurisdictions in order to correlate the digital asset with the underlying title system of whatever house you're talking about. But it will get there. So fundamentally what we're doing is we're taking the $2 billion a major game, and this is literally the marketing budget, would spend on Facebook and Google ads per year, taking that to zero, and instead spending that on building a meaningful economy where players can earn NFTs, where players can actually trade for real value. And because of that, they will share it with their friends. They will stick around much longer, and they will spend more. And when you look at that core set of economics, it's literally just sharing value with players rather than paying some middleman for growth. The whole goal of Web3 is let people own the value they're creating in platforms rather than giving it to some giant business or some giant aggregator. And that's really the fundamental thing that we're trying to do in gaming. It's no longer, hey, I'm creating assets and then selling them to you, and then you can do nothing with them. Because if I'm creating assets and selling them to you, my incentive is to keep as much control as possible. I want the only way to buy it is come to me. It's why Ticker Tech tries to lock down secondary ticket sales, because it undermines the primary issuer's value. Yeah. But suddenly we see the ability to actually monetize via secondary market trades, which fundamentally aligns the incentives of a player with a publisher, because the publisher is incentivized to keep that game alive as long as possible, to keep the value of these assets going, and to also, if they make a new game, kind of translate those assets between. And so I am really, really excited to business models that don't even sell a cent to players. They simply take them on the ride, build an epic and awesome economy with them, and take clips off that as it grows. So the same incentives as end players. This is the thing, is that people want to monopolize profits. People, if they are sitting in the king's seat, don't want to give it up. And it's scary for those incumbents to say, well, hey, here's a new business model. It can grow faster, it can do better for players, and it offers 10 times value. That's the fundamental kind of core considered disruption. I think it will be really interesting to see how the Epic Store carves out a niche in kind of contrast to this. And in general, you're seeing big wars here, right, between monopolistic aggregators or app stores and people who are trying to differentiate by offering much better sort of fees. I mean, Steam literally charges 30% like the Apple Store. That is nuts. Like 30% on a digital asset is absurd to be charging in today's day, but they can do it because it's a completely centralized and owned grey marketplace. They shut down anyone who becomes dangerous. Like they shut down Opskins, a $300 million business, who later became Wax. So we will see disruptors rise off the back of countering kind of monopolistic companies, because that's the most powerful narrative to get around. I mean, that's why a lot of you are here today. And I think it's quite sad that somehow the digital world has been created with the expectation that you own none of it. Probably because that technology wasn't possible in day one, but it's time to change that. And GameStop is, I think, incredibly well positioned to establish itself as the dominant NFT gaming aggregator or marketplace. In general, the thesis of Immutable is like 2021 saw a whole bunch of luxury NFT trades, and they're cool. I have nothing against them, but the future of NFT trading lies in utility NFTs. Reasons to trade things that have zero correlation to the crypto market. You don't buy them for speculative reasons. Like in Gods Unchained, we have more NFTs than every other Ethereum game combined. And they trade for on average $2. And that means you have actually created a genuine economy. People buy it to win a tournament or win a game. That is the kind of sustainable, utility-driven NFT use cases we're interested in. And we want to do that across the gaming vertical, across social media verticals, across art, and across finance.